Observe Lee Young-jun. Wealthy, powerful, and clinically grandiose, his life is an impeccably tailored performance, where every interaction is designed to validate his superiority. This level of extreme insulation is a symptom of severe narcissism. Young-jun lives in a closed psychological ecosystem. He avoids the messiness of genuine human connection by engineering a world that removes all friction from his path. To him, other people are simply functions within that machine. This hub-and-spoke diagram illustrates his reality. The central core is the CEO's ego. All these arrows show time, labor, and resources flowing inward to sustain it. The thickest, most vital arrow represents Secretary Kim. She is the invisible engine of his stability, valued strictly for utility. When she abruptly quits to find her identity, the system breaks. The inward flow stops, and his ego note flashes with warning indicators. His immediate reaction to her resignation is telling. He doesn't behave like a man losing a loved one. Instead, he displays the frantic desperation of a narcissist who has lost control over a vital resource. A subordinate establishing personal boundaries represents an existential threat that shatters a narcissist's worldview. To prevent the collapse, the CEO resorts to his only known language, corporate negotiation. He treats Kim's departure as a tactic to be countered with a better offer, assuming her emotional needs can be settled on a balance sheet. This chart tracks his attempt to buy her back. While his financial offers and career perks spike upward, the second line, representing Kim's interest, remains at zero. He is still attempting to solve a human crisis with transactional currency. These offers fail because Kim's desires for identity and connection exist outside of his corporate ecosystem. In this new context, his vast resources have no purchasing power. This realization triggers a state of clinical panic. He owns the company and the city skyline, yet he cannot influence a single person who no longer values his wealth. When transactional leverage is neutralized, the narcissist is stripped of their armor. They are forced to confront the reality of another person's free will for the first time. To maintain the relationship, the CEO must abandon his home turf. He has to step into Kim's world, leaving behind the corporate leverage that has defined his entire adult life. This Venn diagram shows the shift from an object of utility to a subject of affection. Initially, the massive dominant circle, his ego, completely consumes the smaller one. As he begins to acknowledge her independence, the smaller circle breaks free. They become two distinct individuals. We see this through his uncharacteristic sacrifices. He endures public transit, eats at humble neighborhood spots, and prioritizes her comfort over his own rigid schedule. These actions offer zero benefit to his public image or his ego. Operating without leverage requires genuine vulnerability. By letting go of his control, he accepts the risk of rejection. Connecting with someone who refuses to be an accessory requires the deliberate dismantling of the ego. As he continues to prioritize her perspective, their dynamic undergoes a structural shift. The rigid boss-subordinate hierarchy dissolves, replaced by a partnership of mutual respect and shared decision-making. He remains a confident and capable leader in the business world, but his psychological center of gravity has moved. He has transitioned from a self-serving orbit to a shared existence. This illustration captures the concept of ego death. On the left, a harsh spotlight focuses solely on the hero. On the right, the light expands to cover two figures equally. He has made the difficult choice to stop being the sole protagonist. Narcissism and genuine romantic love occupy opposite ends of the psychological spectrum. They simply cannot coexist in the same space. True connection relies on the acceptance of mutual dependency. It requires treating a partner as a peer rather than an asset to be managed. Think about the power dynamics in the stories you watch, or the ones you live. Are they based on utility or equality? If you enjoy these psychological deep dives, consider subscribing for more. The narrative concludes with the dismantling of his ego, proving that the ultimate romantic victory is the transformation into an equal partner.